that I got to know. That's why you got to come here and know.
So this is podcast episode 1. I'm John, and today we're going to be talking about routine.
So yeah, let's talk about. Is that loud? That loud on your side too? Yeah, I'm like, why is that hella loud?
Your volume is different from mine.
All right.
Shit. Okay.
All right. Does that sound cool? That sounds good, right? All right. So yeah, man. Basically, I just wanted to record a discussion about routines or habits or how to be successful based on the decisions that you choose to make on a daily basis or on a consistent basis.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's important to really mention that not to really like overdo it, because I know especially when I was younger, and this may happen to a lot of you out there, but I used to go all out and
Go hard
it
in
was
the paint.
it was good for a minute. It was definitely like something that I liked doing, but then I realized that it was just like I was just burning myself out, man. And I started thinking, like, I started to get into that mentality, like, maybe it's not beneficial for me to keep using this system, really,
Yeah.
and find a different system. The reason behind that is because, like, it's almost like, to put it in a metaphor, it's like when you go to the gym for the first time, right? Like, you don't want to be like picking up all the weights and like, I mean, you could definitely do that, right? You could definitely do that, but the thing is, like, the next day you're probably going to be tired as hell, and you're
Right.
probably not going to want to.
Or
You're
injured.
going to stop. Yeah.
Can injure yourself
Yeah.
easily.
That's why it's important. Like, I really like, your system, which you use is just like having like a checklist, every day, and just like showing up and being there. And it's not like you're not overworking yourself,
Right.
but you're constantly there every day, and it builds up to something beautiful.
Yeah.
And to something that's beautiful.
I like that, man, and that's like a perfect thing to bring up first, because that's part of the success equation, or that's part of becoming successful, or part of choosing the right habits that you want to incorporate on a consistent basis. Is whatever you're going to do, it's not a successful formula if it doesn't include rest or like not going too hard in the paint. If your formula is just go hard in the paint all the time, that's been proven to not be a successful formula, right? So it's good that you mentioned that. So what I would think would be like a good place to start with even like talking about this is saying why is it beneficial to have habits or things that you do on a consistent basis? Why is that beneficial?
Oh, you're asking me the question?
Yeah.
Well, for me personally, I think the same thing that I was touching on the last time I was talking was that I don't burn myself out. I'm not burning myself out, and I'm doing things properly, right? It's really quality over quantity. That's what it is, and it's so much better in the long run, really, because things come out right, and like I said, like, it's just too tiring, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. So yeah, it can be too tiring to just be going hard in the paint all the time, not having like a consistent thing, or like even like when you just hit the gym, somebody's like, all right, here's my New Year's resolution or whatever. Here's this thing that I'm going to do. And
So what kind of stuff do you do? Like what helps you out? Like what are you doing? I know, like, you have a website. Did you implement that, like that same routine or that same system when you were building that? Or?
Yeah, definitely. So like What I did, I wouldn't even say that it's like a formula that we've really gotten to yet, but it's, or like in this talk right here, but it's more that, yeah, I implemented habits, or I did stuff on a consistent, I did certain things on a consistent basis to be able to produce a website from absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? And so that's why I think it's important to discuss, or for people to at least put it out there so that people can kind of have like a little roadmap to follow, or see that there's people out here that are doing it, that there is a process that they can follow. And maybe it's for like analytical minds or something. Sometimes for some minds, it works better to have kind of a all over the place kind of way of going about things. And then other people want like a structure, or like some kind of thing that's just written out, like a strategy, like, hey, if you do this, a process, you know what I mean? And I think sometimes that's helpful for people. And those are the people that I kind of think that this discussion, or this, you know, podcast or whatever can help. It can help those people and give them kind of an idea of the benefits, why you even want to follow a process like that. And then, you know, eventually get to how, or like what kind of formula you can follow.
Right. And it's yeah, I think you what you said is pretty spot on, because some people can work like that and they do a great job, but most people that I know can't keep up with the demand of that same, you know, process or system, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So that's dope that you brought that up too. That's perfect, because that's one of the hardest parts that people face when they want to accomplish something, maybe something that's big, or even kind of a little thing like, you know, working out, or I want to like lose weight or something, or I want to get buff or gain weight, all these different goals that people have, even starting a business, or, you know, seeing a profitable venture succeed, right? Whatever your goal may be, when you look at it just like that, like I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to gain weight, or I'm going to start a business, or be successful at this thing, that can already, just that statement alone can be like a daunting statement, you know what I mean? Or kind of something that seems insurmountable if you don't have kind of what's the first step to take. Everybody, we've all heard that saying, a journey of 1,000 steps begins with one step, or begins with the first step. So it's like somebody who wants to accomplish some big thing, or some worthwhile thing, or a beneficial thing, they need to, it can be helpful to have certain steps to take. And
yeah, no, definitely. And when you're, it's also easier for the mind to comprehend, you know, attainable goals, right?
Right.
And then with those attainable goals, you reach an even bigger goal, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And but I also want to stress that it's also important not to be outcome dependent. You really have to focus on the action itself. And
right.
that's something that I myself struggled with for many, many years. I was always like, shoot, like if I go do this, if I go talk to this girl, I'm going to fail. She's probably going to reject me. I was focused on the outcome, you know? And I never did the action.
Yeah.
Because of that fear. And once you start focusing on the action itself, because that's really like the rewarding part, right? That's, you know, like the other stuff, if it comes, it comes. But the rewarding stuff is like you actually going out there and doing it. You feel good. You're like, fuck yeah, I did it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's one of my bigger beliefs, and that came directly from the Gita, which is a Hindu scripture. And yeah, I believe in that. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, no, it's legit. I like that a lot, because that's an important part about it, that if you're going to set up like a routine or something that you're going to do to ultimately achieve a goal that you are seeking to achieve, or at least you know, you want to add a benefit to your life to make it better than where you're currently at, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to grow as a person.
Right.
In order to do that, you got to implement specific steps.
Right.
Typically. Right? And those steps that you implement should be things that you like, should be enjoyable, should be part of the journey, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so that, you know, when you get to the thing finally, that's only, like as an example, that accomplishing the thing is maybe only 10% or less, 5%, 1%. The journey is the whole 90%, 95%, 99%. So you want to enjoy that huge chunk of everything, right?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
So, yeah. And so, yeah, you want it to be enjoyable. And so, like, going back to what you were saying, what's up?
Can I add something?
Yeah,
Put the headphones on. Yeah.
Got our homie X.
Yeah.
He's about to spit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, spit hot fire.
Spit hot fire.
Spit hot fire.
Dylon.
Dylon.
I ain't got much to say, you know.
Damn, with the sexy ass voice.
Like I
I'm
said,
turned on.
I appreciate you.
Hey, wait, before
At
you
least
start, is the
15
camera
of them.
recording? Wait, it's not going to pick you up anyway.
It just stopped.
It just stopped?
Let's see how we
Okay.
let's do this.
It's not like it matters because
No, it'd be cool to show us, like, we'll be looking at something
Yeah.
back there, you know what I mean?
That's true, yeah.
We don't just all psycho look at nothing back there.
Okay, it's recording.
Now that all
Now
the
you
ladies
sound
in
like
our
you're sick,
audience
bro. Now you just sound like there's something wrong with you.
Hey, not to me.
All right, let him speak. Let
Speak
the
for
man
yourself,
speak.
John.
So, I wanted to say that I think it's powerful to. I think what you all are saying is powerful, and I think it could be more powerful in my eyes if spoken in I statements, because it internalizes, and so because constantly I'm always hearing the you, and really what I think I would want to hear as a listener is the I. Because that helps me internalize. It helps me put me in the picture.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so as I listen, I think it's important for me to speak. If I'm going to carry this on to others, I want to talk about when I have an experience of talking to a woman and I am thinking of the outcomes, I am instantly putting myself in that position. And so, you know, that's all I had to say. So
All right.
speak from the I statements, and I think because you all are on the right track, it's powerful stuff.
Yeah, dope. Yeah,
Cool.
You know, and at least for myself, I try to include my personal experience in everything that I do, right?
Mhm.
Because that formulates my thoughts. But yeah, what else?
Sick. Yeah, just one thing to add on that too is just because I know that some people are going to listen to this because they're going to be trafficked here, directed here by game teachings or teachings about how to get girls, stuff like that. One thing that I learned from one of my mentors in person was I was sending out texts, and I actually learned this from a couple mentors, and he was like, one of them was a specific game mentor, and one was like a boss that I had back in the day, but like mentored me on a lot of things in life and communication and stuff. And the one that was specific to game, I was sending out texts, and he was like, when you send out texts, he was like, a lot of your texts say a bunch of stuff about, they say I in the text. And he was like, in your text, try to make it where you have as many I's as you have U's in your text. So if you say I like 4 times or something in a text, which is, you know, happens sometimes or whatever,
Right.
you would want to have like 4 U's or more, like 1 or 2 more U's, because it gets the girl thinking about herself, or shit, you know, it shows that you're like you're considering her something, I don't know. But exactly, I should do more research on that. But
No,
but
hey, we're doing this on the fly.
right.
It's,
It always stuck with me in my mind, and so I've always implied that, or I've always employed that, and like I've seen it to, you know, a certain degree of success. And then another thing what my other mentor said was that he was talking to this girl one time. So to flip it, he was talking to a girl in a club or like in a bar one time, and everything she was saying, she was like, I hate this, like I don't like this, I like this, I don't like this, like all this stuff. And he was like, and all I could think was like, I is what he said. And that always stuck with me, and I was like, that's legit. That's a good rule to keep in mind, the I rule. Like, it's like when you're talking to other people, or if you want to come off attractive, right, to like the opposite sex, you want to kind of like manage how much you're talking about yourself. In this, right, in this setting, exactly. Right, in this setting for like a podcast or something, then yeah, and that's something I don't have experience in, you know what I mean? So like coming from you as being the guy we're in this studio because of you, you know what I mean? You're the guy on the radio. I'm like, I'm going to take your advice for these podcast kind of settings, but I did want to put that in there just to make that clear for anybody who came here from game and stuff like that, right? It's good to keep in mind, because you don't want to go out there and be talking to a girl and be like, hey girl, I saw you like this and I want like I you know what I mean? It'll get too much. You want to be like, hey, you know what I mean? You're trying to,
what I've heard about that is like when you're trying to like pick up a girl, is like huh?
I am trying to pick up a girl.
Yeah, this is gonna take work, dude. But I like it. I like it because it's different. Right, it makes me have to be conscious of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
I have to be conscious of that shit.
When I'm trying to pick up a girl.
See, now I'm like, okay, look at John's trying to pick up a girl.
I like it, dude. I like it.
That's great stuff. Yeah. When I'm trying to pick up a girl, it's all about the we statements, you know, because that puts her in the frame of mind.
At a certain point in the interaction is when you start doing the we, right? Because if you go up to her and you're like, we.
If I go up to her.
If I go, I like it, dude. Cool, bro. It's dope. I'm about to start smacking mics around and shit. Yeah. Yeah. Just get on.
It's not a penis. It's not a penis, bro.
Damn it. But yeah, so if I'm going up to talk to a girl and I'm like, hey, I this or you that, that's actually good in the beginning. You don't want to just go, I don't want to go up to a girl and be like, we.
You know why? You know why eyes are so powerful? Because it lets me hear what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Instead of being in the position. Because when I say you, then I'll be, right away if you say you, then I'm like, oh, fuck, okay.
You get conscious of yourself?
Exactly. So if I speak in I statements, then you get to be yourself still.
Right.
True.
See, and I've been going all these years so focused on that you, and not doing I never talk about myself. I'm always trying to say you, because also I got that from music. Like if you listen to songs, like in music,
when I listen to music in the songs, they're often saying you in music, right? They say you more than they say I, because that makes you as a listener kind of connect with it more or something, was my understanding. But it makes sense what you're saying right now, and it's something I want to look into more, like research on, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know what I mean.
Hey, maybe this podcast should be about using I, and the power that I holds. Yeah.
Or incorporating that into the routine.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Assertiveness.
The powerful thing is when I speak like that, I allow the person who's listening to me to hear what I'm saying, because the moment I put them in the position of what I'm talking about, it's like it changes the way I'm able to receive the message.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
makes
very
sense.
True.
And
that's very true.
That's what happened last night on the phone with that girl.
Yeah, definitely. Xavier's a player, bro.
No, I don't.
He's just like shh. He just crushes a lot, bro.
He's a lot.
I just communicate my feelings. I let them know what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling, and then I provide space for them to express themselves and how they feel about what I just said.
Yeah.
Did you smash?
Yeah. Bro. He don't kiss and tell.
Means he didn't. Just kidding.
Oh, trust me, he did. No, but yeah,
cool.
but yeah, man, like that assertiveness is important too. And It's just I've been working on it all my entire life, and it's a matter of perseverance. It's a matter of practicing, going out there and really like making declarations, you know, of who I am, right? Like there's this I believe in the power of words a lot, and there's this this quote that I really like by Lao Tse, who was a philosopher.
Who is it?
Lao
Tzu? Or
oh, I'm sorry. In Spanish, it's Lao Tse.
Oh.
But it's Lao Tzu in English.
All right, cool.
Sorry, I
good.
I read more in Spanish sometimes, and
that
the
totally makes sense.
happen.
I was just like, I never heard of Lao Tse before.
Lao Tse, yeah. In Spanish is Lao Tse.
Yeah. I was just like, hey, new philosopher that I need to check out. You know what I mean?
But anyway, one of his quotes says, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." And it's so true, because I hear so many people, you know, say like whenever they want to do something, like, I can't do that.
Right.
And that in itself like puts you in a box. It puts me in a box too. It puts you and I in a box, bro. All right, we're both in the box together. No, but I mean, like, yeah.
I don't want to be in a box together with you, bro.
Maybe you do, bro. Maybe you do. But yeah, the power of words is important, and
I want to be in a box together with Xavier.
Definitely.
Just kidding, bro.
No, but yeah, that's all I really had to say about that.
I'd be in a box with you, dude. Oh, I didn't mean that.
Yeah,
I was just joking.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I think that's that's an important quote, because one of the ways that one of my mentors said it was that he was like, convictions are the enemies of truth. Right?
True.
And that's what that quote makes me think of.
Definition of a conviction?
I don't know. Can you look it up?
So always.
Because to me, no, I know. Conviction to me means just being
committed,
convinced or something. Being like, wait, let me see if I can try to, like, what I have in my head. If I try to guess what the definition says, it's like conviction is like, I would say like maybe biased, or like the word I want to use is extreme, like an extreme ideology, or just my way of describing it would be like being far to the one end of the spectrum is a conviction, or based on like previous knowledge, or something, or based on like the only knowledge that you have at the time, or something like that.
I think
what
conviction. Wait, before you do that, conviction.
Oh, okay.
Conviction to me means something that you believe in wholeheartedly.
Okay.
And
ding 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 ding.
Is that what it says?
And you can't really
held belief.
You can't really
a firmly held belief.
You can't really dismantle it, because it's a conviction.
Right.
It's not. There's not like a different like layer to it. I guess like a promise could be like, but
word. So the quote goes, "Convictions are the enemies of all truth."
Mm-hmm.
So something that I hold. So sometimes my beliefs and my opinions can push me away from the truth. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Convictions are the enemies of truth.
Yeah.
Just straight up. So like
truth can be truth. Truth is what it is, no matter what. Right.
Truth is not being on one end or the other. Truth is learning how to figure out that, because my understanding of it, man, is that it comes down to a paradox of everything.
What's the definition of paradox?
To me, paradox, I like that you do that too.
Because see, it's about,
I really do.
It's about our listeners not just hearing words, but knowing what they mean.
That's the most important thing ever, dude. Like, that you look up definitions like that, you're one of the only other people that I've met, like, seriously, who does that. It fucking takes me forever to read a book, because every word that I don't know, or if I want to even go back and review the definition, I look it up again, right? So, dude, that's the most this is perfect, since we're talking about routines and habits, dude. That habit right there is that's so dope. Okay, I just want to throw that out there. But I get passionate about fabulous. That shit, because that's huge, dude. You have to do that. There's so many people that are that I have to do that because so many people are confused about what words even mean, dude. I had one of my homies hit me up the other day and he was like, "You're humble." And I was like, "Dude, I'm not fucking humble." I was like, "What is your definition of that? How do you define that word?" And his definition was like, "You have confidence" or something. And I was like, "Dude, that's far off of what that word means, bro." I was like, "You need to look that definition up." I'm not humble. I avoid being humble. I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm not humble. Don't even say that to me. So it's like, so it's good. All right, so what was the word? Paradox? So a paradox to me, here, let me see if I can get close. Shit. Damn, that's a hard one to explain, but it's like two things being...
You're on the right track.
To me,
Right,
it's like
two
an
things.
intersection of the two things, but that don't really like they don't combine with each other.
Yeah,
in
I
a
don't
sort
know.
of
What
way.
is it? What does it say, man?
So you're both on the right track. It's
Yeah.
it's a statement that's contradictory of itself
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
because it's two different things in the same statement.
Mm-hmm.
Dope.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
That's sick. Yeah. So I like to be aware
So
of
both
that.
are true. Both things are true, but they can't be true at the same time.
Right.
Right.
It's
They they constantly contradict each other. And what's the opposite of contradict?
Affirm.
Affirm. Yeah. So they both constantly contradict and they both like affirm each other, kind of, right?
Well, no, they're both affirming points. So both of them are factual
by themselves.
by themselves, but when put together, they contradict.
Okay.
Yeah.
So an example would be
God, and it's like anything, like almost everything is like a paradox, right? In like, yeah, because I was kind of trying to think of an example, but it's like, it's just the paradoxes of success. Like I find myself using that phrase a lot, that there's these paradoxes of success. Like, who's that guy? It's Felix Dennis or something like that, the owner of Maxim magazine. He has a sick book called, it's just like, it's a crass title, but it's like How to Get Rich or something like that. And Felix Dennis or so, yeah, Felix Dennis. And like if you were to look up like the paradoxes of success, Felix Dennis, those are good examples of like what those are good examples of paradoxes.
Yeah. Definitely.
Success. I'm looking it up right now on my phone.
But just
We all are.
while you do that, just going back to what we were talking about starting off simple, and when I talk about simple, I'm not talking about it being easy, right? I'm talking about it in a way where you can develop yourself to achieve better results, right?
Right.
And Lao Tzu also said, to govern a great nation as you would cook a small fish. Do not overdo it. And
Okay.
and that's so true. We need to be logical when we're
I need to be logical.
I said we.
Well, no, and I think that's okay. We need to be logical because now we're kind of like talking to the people, like, you know what I mean?
But
It's
I
like,
think
come
that-
on, yo,
I
like,
think the people get to think that for themselves.
right.
We don't want to force
Yeah.
It kinda, like,
I wouldn't
puts
wanna
it in
force
there.
it upon anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like the whole joy about it is I get to hear it, and the reason I want to listen is because it's not including me. So it's
That's
more
dope.
likely that I'm going to want to listen because I know that John's not talking about me. He's
Yeah.
talking about himself. So I get to fucking pick at him and like
Where'd
break
you-
him down, and I could like he's like this thing, and I get to just be who I am.
That's so true, dude.
How'd you learn that? How did you, like, can you remember like what
confrontation communication?
confrontation communicate? Is that a book or what?
It's
Or
it's
like
study in
a
college.
pamphlet or like a,
I lived
like
with
a course?
Doctor. I lived with a doc. Oh wait, I lived with a doctor, obstetrician gynecologist, and he owned a med spa in Maui, and he was a monk, and he was doing his what's it called when doctors need to move to a new state? They do their
Clinicals?
not clinicals. They have to do something to earn their license here in the state, only for like a year.
I don't know, like an internship sort of thing, or
Housing
like
residency.
residency.
So you have to go back to school for like a certain period of time to basically say you can practice law in the new state that
Yeah.
you live in. You can't just go and practice. You have to like live there for a bit.
Uh,
And so while he was in his residency, one of his classes, because you don't relearn you don't relearn obstetrician gynecology. You don't relearn gynecology. You just take classes there.
I do.
That intense. That like, you just take classes that basically teach you more skills, and you earn school credits, and you earn your residency. And you maybe do some refresher courses. But one of his classes was confrontation communication. And whenever I want to communicate to someone, especially in a moment of confrontation, and the reason being for confrontation is I want the person to hear me.
Right.
I want the person to listen to me. And if I'm speaking in you statements, they instantly guard themselves and block their heart chakra.
Yeah.
Right? They block themselves from listening and taking in what
Close
I have
off.
to say because I'm talking about them. But if I'm talking about myself, there's no reason for them to block because they want to hear, because they want to try to understand me. And so it's all about I statements. So if like John does something to me that makes me upset, I'm not like, bro, you did this and you like pissed me off and it was because you did this. It's like, I felt this way.
I'm feeling this way.
I felt this way whenever this happened between us.
Dude, and I learned that in a communication class too.
So
I learned that method. It was interpersonal skills actually.
Yeah, interpersonal.
In college?
Interpersonal, in college. Yeah, and it was pretty much that same method. It wasn't like
it's for people to hear us out. Hear me out. If I want somebody to hear me out, I need to talk about myself.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, no, he's right on point.
So I'll go back to or like to keep it on course with habits. I'll just throw this out here, right? I have this habit where at the end of the day, I write down at least 3 in this journal that I have. I write down 3 to 5 things that were dope that happened today, right? So it kind of rewires your brain to like go back and rewires my brain. Damn, dude, that's gonna take practice, but that's what, dude. All the dope shit takes practice, right? At first, it's fucking hard. It's against what you've been doing all the wrong shit all this time.
It's a habit. It's a
habit. You know what I mean?
You're recircuiting.
It's all these bad habits. I'm recircuiting my brain with that habit. So what I'll do is I'll write down 3 to 5 things, and it always ends up being this list of. Once I start doing that, it always becomes this list of like 25 different things that I could keep writing, but I have to stop myself. You know what I mean? So one of the things I'm going to write down is it was dope that I asked Xavier where he learned that communication skill from, because now I can go back and I can review that kind of shit. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be like, that was sick. And that was a good habit that I have of asking questions of people who know things that I don't know, or when I learn a new thing, it's like ask questions. Hey, where did you learn that from? And it's like everybody kind of gains benefit from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. It's a learning experience.
So
for sure.
Yeah, that's to kind of put out a little, just an idea of a habit that can be beneficial to you, it's a habit that I have that's beneficial to me.
Dope.
And then that's where if I say it like that, then that gives the other people do a chance to be like, will that be beneficial for
right,
me?
exactly.
Because they get to ask themselves that.
Yeah.
But when I talk about you, there's no reason for you to ask yourself because I've did that.
I've already told you, yeah.
Yeah, but whenever I talk about myself, that gives others opportunity to be like, will that work for me?
Right, dude. It's so much more effective. It's like 10 times more effective.
You know what I'm thinking, like off the top of my head, is just I think I do that myself. Like I talk in you statements because sometimes I feel vulnerable.
Exactly.
That's what it is. It shows vulnerability. It really does.
It makes
like
vulnerable.
Yeah.
Talk like that.
And it's easier for me to talk in that.
About you. It's easier for me to talk about you than to talk about myself.
Yeah. It really is.
And that's deep shit, bro.
That is
God
damn.
Yeah.
That's like philosophical right there.
Point.
Did you take any philosophy classes?
I didn't go to post-secondary education.
No?
No.
Did you? I mean, but you've done reading, obviously.
I've done a lot of reading.
Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah. Do you want to talk about anything else?
Yeah, dude. I think this is like a deep topic, but and I think it's good to. I mean, we could talk for fucking days, dude. If not longer about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
But
definitely like. Yeah.
But I think, like, if anything, let's just like finish it up with something like a practical. So like really what I had written down, like at home, I wrote down a bunch of things that I wanted to like ask you guys, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like things like, what was a time that you had you employed certain habits, and how did it benefit you or something, right? And like, or what kind of things happened to you that were like quote unquote failures or quote unquote things that you wanted to do but it didn't end up working out, and looking back in hindsight, did you not implement consistent habits on it, and like how could you have changed that kind of stuff like that? That's kind of stuff that I had written down. We don't have to get into that right now because we're kind of
we could I could give an example myself. First of all, I think I really don't believe in failure. The only, I guess,
right, and that's why I said quote unquote failure, because I don't like that word either.
The only real failure is not doing, and that's it, because I'm not learning. I'm not learning when I'm not doing anything, and that's the only failure. But any situation that I'm involved in, whether it comes out as a success or what you define as a success, I personally define every interaction or every problem that I confront as a success, because I'm learning from it.
Right.
I'm learning about myself. I'm learning about the other person. I'm learning about their reaction to what I did, and I'm a very logical thinker, so that all that stuff like helps me out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess like let me try to word it in a different way, because I on the same lines with you like that. Like I believe that nothing's like a failure, and you can always look back and you just gained from many experiences, really. So what's a situation that you like? Where's something that you fucked up? You fucked up something, and it's like, going back, how could you have changed that to have it? Because I know, like, ethereally, or like if we look at it from this this whole like other perspective, it's like, no, it's like that's the way it's supposed to happen or something like that. But it's like, there was a girl that you really liked or something, and you wanted to talk to her, and you fucked up or something.
Well, I think that happens to me. Really, it happens to me habitually. Where I wanna go talk to a girl, and I don't do it.
Yeah.
And it's really built off of this irrational fear. But sometimes I do go and I do it, right? But it's just like, I know I have this irrational fear. It's just learning how to like control that and how to just like get over it.
Yeah. Dude, I don't think it's an irrational fear too. I want to hit that real quick too, that because it's not. I don't believe that that's an irrational fear. People always say that it's like this irrational fear of talking to girls. It's like, no, dude, that's such a rational, logical way of thinking. Because, dude, if you fuck up talking to this girl, or you sound all dumb,
I sound all dumb.
Right.
I talking to this girl.
So if I go up and talk to this girl and I sound all dumb, and she
I get to like start laughing and shit, because at first you talking about me, I was like, bitch, I talk girl, I ain't confident shit.
Right.
You're talking about like, oh shit, he just fucked up.
Yeah, cool. So like, if I go up to this girl and I fuck up or something, she could potentially go up to her girlfriends, everybody in the same class with you, or at your fucking workplace, at my fucking workplace or something, and be like, this fool, look at how dumb he sounded when he said this shit to me. You know what I mean? Dude, reputation is a thing in life, It's not an irrational fear, dude. You're very consciously being aware that if you don't do some shit correctly, I'm very consciously being aware, that if I don't do some shit correctly, that could affect my reputation in this small circle or in this area of people.
That's very true.
Yeah, so that's a way to start helping out with that mentality, you know what I mean? Because then I'm not just looking at myself and being like, I have this irrational fear or something, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? And it's more like, no, this is actually normal as hell.
Yeah.
And I just need to understand how I'm going to choose to interpret reputation and reputation management and stuff like that.
And how I'm going to get over this hurdle.
And how I'm going to let it affect me and stuff like that. Yeah. So that can be beneficial to kind of take that mindset.
That's dope.
Yeah.
It's good,
good
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Has there been a situation where that's happened, where you've felt a fear and you didn't, go through with it, and like what would you have done in hindsight?
Yeah, and so what it makes me think of when I think of that is that all the times that I've not approached a girl or something that I wanted to, or certain situations, just what that makes me think of is that if I had implemented my habits, that just shows me that what I set as okay, or what I set as normal for me habits wise, makes it that if I'm not approaching girls, that's okay, or that's normal. That is an okay habit to have, which in my opinion it's not. That's actually incorrect to me, to not approach girls that you like or are interested in or want to talk to. And so looking back in hindsight, I think it would have been more beneficial to be in the habit of just always doing approaches, right?
Right.
So,
but it's like anything. You have to build towards it.
Right.
You can't.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to build towards it.
Right.
Yeah.
So exactly. And so that's why this topic, and we can talk for so long about this, because it keeps getting deeper. Because what's dope is that, to go up and talk to a girl, that can be a big thing for some dudes, right? And I know it was for me back in the day, right? And so what you have to do is now you have to step back a step, because too many people are like, I have this irrational fucking thing. Something's wrong with me. And I have to take this huge ass leap to talking to this fucking girl that I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
it's like, that's
leap.
impossible. Yeah. There's this guy who ran through the fucking Antarctic or something. Like, I don't know. He ran some number of miles or something, like 100 miles through the Antarctic or something. Yeah. And it was you, actually. Now that I think back, So,
I
dang,
not lose.
didn't realize. Can I get your autograph after this shit? That was sick. But
I left my pen in Antarctica.
Yeah.
He was running with the pen.
I never. That was my only pen.
I dropped it in the eyes.
I've never had a pen since then. I don't choose to write with pencils. No pen will ever be the same as that one.
I do only use pencils now.
We took a trip back there to actually try to find that pen. Lost 3 men. They fell in a crevice. Fuck you. I'm not giving you my fucking autograph. Get out of my face. Get these cameras out of my face. So, fuck. All right. Yeah, check it out. All right. So that dude running through Antarctica, right? Ran like 100 miles. And he said that, like, in the craziest parts when he couldn't even see or whatever, all he thought about was getting to the next 2 feet, right? That's how he did it. He was like, if I thought about that I was having to run 50 more miles or some shit, or like 75 more miles, whatever it was, he was like, I would have never been able to accomplish it. I had to just think about the next 2 feet. And so that always stuck with me, man. And I think that's huge, and that's the main point. So I'm glad we actually got to talk about that, because that was the main point I even wanted to record this, was to try to get that idea across, is that, like, if you have something you want to accomplish, if I have something I want to accomplish, man,
Xavier's gonna be our eye guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's gonna be your job, bro.
Dude, that's actually kind of a tight little. That would be like a thing that differentiates us from other podcasts. Is like, dude, have you heard that podcast where there's that guy in the background who's just always like, I, and then they start talking about themselves all sick. Like,
I'm telling you,
it's like fucking every 5 minutes in that podcast, bro. It's the weirdest thing, but it's tight. They talk about cool shit. It's interesting.
It works.
And then they start talking about me and shit, and I get all turned off, and then they just like revert
they
back
start
to
talking
it.
about themselves, and I'm all cool.
Yeah. I get all defensive and shit when it's all you.
I'm like, oh, it's not on me.
It's like, thank God that podcast would suck if that fucking I guy wasn't there, bro. I keep fucking fading away, and then all of a sudden I hear,
you get all these offers, bro. Like, hey, we need a night guy.
Yeah. Everybody starts doing it in their podcast. I. What the fuck are you even saying I for? Like, I've been saying I. I know, it's really works for that podcast. I don't know, just I. I'm here to say I.
That'd be hilarious.
But yeah, bro. So, like, we still recording?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So yeah, I guess we'll just wrap it up here with just 10 minutes.
You're like leaning out, and I'm saying you on purpose. You're leaning out of the camera.
Oh yeah, I don't want to be seen by that fucking thing. So anyways,
I don't want to be seen by that.
It's just my feet. Like, hey, John.
We should just put paper bags on our heads, dude, and just record it that way.
That'd be a pretty funny podcast. You'd probably get a lot of views.
It's the oddest podcast I've ever seen in my life, but they talk about cool shit.
What the fuck is up with that podcast?
There's like no. They wear brown paper bags and they say I statements.
Yeah, like
that'll be our shtick. Holy
it's
shit,
like,
we already found our shtick.
It's an idea, yeah, for sure.
That'd be kind of worthwhile.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Go up on Reddit.
Yeah. I'm with it. I'm with it, dude. You never know. That's the kind of shit that pops off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's a little dope spot too.
You have to cut a little mouth hole though. In order, I would have to cut a little mouth hole in order for Mike to.
I bet you would. No.
Just have our lips like that. Just inject our lips like Kylie Jenner. Have some huge lips.
Yeah.
Get really close to the mic like this with those lips. Just, you know what I mean? Just like.
It's not a dick, John.
All right, but yeah, that's a dope spot to end this.
No,
podcast.
We're not ending it. I said 10 minutes. 10 minutes. We're gonna wrap it up, bro. All right, so yeah, that was the last thing that I wanted to throw out is that it's that idea of just taking the next 2 feet. So if somebody wants to start habitually just approaching all the girls that they like and that they want to talk to, what's the first 2 feet that, if say that was me, what was the first 2 feet that I would want to take?
What right? I would do? Or what you, oh, sorry.
It's I, John.
I'm getting confused as hell, man. This whole conversation is just like, my world is just like this now.
Yeah. I'm worried to say that it's you because he's going to be like, hi.
No, but I mean.
I was talking about you, John.
Hi. That's how.
I'm talking about me.
That's how ingrained. That's how ingrained it is in our culture. Homie's like, shit, I want to be part of this. Like, homie's not even used to that.
Right.
Shit. No, but I mean, we're trying to listen to this homie and his experience.
Yeah.
So sorry about that, bro.
So 2 feet, girl.
I apologize.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, apology accepted. So,
people are gonna think we're high, bro. Come on.
Good.
So 2 feet. You're 2 feet. I'm 2 feet. Right. I'm trying to talk to a girl.
Yeah, I'm 2 feet. Yeah. Man, this is funny shit, dude. I like it.
2 feet.
Yeah.
All right. What if it's 3 feet, yo?
Yeah. So the next 3 feet, the next 72 feet is what you want to be focused on, okay? And no. So all right. So what would be the next 2 feet that somebody like me would take if I was in that position? So first, I would start trying to implement, some kind of like mentality change. Right? I'd be like, hey, am I saying you all the time when I'm on podcasts? I really need to start changing that to I, right? And I'd be like, mentality shift. I got to work on that. You know what I mean? Or in the case with girls, it's like, hey, it's not an irrational thing that I have going on. It's a reputation thing. Let me start to studying managing reputation. Shit like that, right? Mindset shift. And then step number 2 would just be like, what can I do to start implementing this habit of, let me just try to say, it's all right, if I'm depending on how
it's not a practice until it's not a habit until I practice it often.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to implement the practice.
Right. So here's what I was gonna say. Here's step 1 is like, hey, depending on how bad you are off or how scared you are, how afraid it is, how much it affects you, just start walking towards. Just practice like walking towards a girl that you like. You know what I mean? That would be that. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's just-
So what I would do is I would just start practicing walking towards a girl.
on the next episode, we're gonna give Xavier a whip, and this shit every time we say you,
No, but I feel he's on a good point.
it'll make
That
it more
podcast is so crazy. That fucking guy, he whipped out a fucking eyeball.
Okay, I'm following. I'm following.
Through his fucking paper bag.
God damn it! Stop saying you.
You hear it fucking rip the fucking bag open, and then the next one fucking takes a fucking eye out.
Okay, so I'm walking towards a girl, or I'm taking these steps towards approaching someone I'm interested in.
Yeah, so what I would do is I would just start walking towards her, right? And then if you get too fucking close and you're getting freaked out or whatever, oh yeah, fucking,
Yeah.
I'm all vulnerable, and this is your fucking problem, John.
God damn.
You got too close to her, John.
Yeah. You creeped her out. You fucking
Oh shit.
starts all becoming this shit like about me, like my problems and shit.
It is. You're the one talking.
I know, dude, but no, what if I like got all deep with it? Your dad never came to your baseball games and fucking.
Okay.
So if you have problems like that, all right. So like, all right.
Just I would say what helps me in those situations when I need to use I statements is slowing down.
Okay.
Slow it down.
And
So-
and a lot of folks,
It's like Marvin Gaye.
I
Yeah.
found that folks like slow a lot of times.
Maybe you can insert some
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye music in here.
No, I've probably been talking hella fast on this shit. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm gonna listen back to it and be like, damn, you slow down.
No, but anyway, yeah.
But that's like
Finish
a common.
out
That's
your
a
story.
common problem. But this is good because we're learning how to do this shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Learning how to do this shit proper. So, I'm glad we have a third person here too, because we would just be all fucking retarded, saying all kinds of you
Think
statements
about
on
this though.
for a goddamn
this.
hour and a half.
Think about
bro.
this. Think about this. If what was just said by yourself, what you just said, I'm purposely saying you,
Yeah.
that we're learning how to do this right. If that was said by saying, I'm learning how to do this right, that would have gave me the volition to say, I'm learning how to do this right too. And that's what we want. That's where that transfer of knowledge comes from. Because you're transferring the knowledge saying,
Well,
we're
wouldn't
learning.
that be okay when I'm
I
saying
would
we,
say-
we're learning?
I would say, no, it's not your call what I'm learning.
True.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
it's
I'm
like
saying.
just so even John.
I'm not absorbing any of this shit, dude. It's like
No, but I'm saying even if I am, this is
I'm just
this
messing with you, Xavier.
this is where it comes deep. Even if I am absorbing it, the only way I will know whether or not I am absorbing it is if I acknowledge the fact that I'm absorbing it, not if you acknowledge the fact. Because there's always times where I'm like, oh, okay, this person's catching on or this person's not catching on, but it doesn't mean anything unless they know what's happening to them.
Right.
And so what that does is this creates a space for us to all participate. Because instantly, by saying that we're all learning, that didn't give me the chance to be like, you know what, I am learning, or thinking to myself, am I learning? Because you've already stated the fact. You've basically stated a conviction that we're all learning. Because
Yeah.
I'm my own human being, and I could be like, you know, actually I haven't learned nothing, or I have, or I haven't.
Yeah.
And so by saying,
I'd be like, you're
I'm-
negative. You are learning.
you know, and
You are learning.
that's not the call.
You
bro.
are learning.
But
Yeah.
see, so if I say, I'm really learning how to do this right, then automatically, as an instinctual thing, because I want to be part of it, I'm gonna say, I think I'm learning too. Like,
Yeah.
so it allows people to participate for themselves.
I feel you.
So
it's a
conviction.
it's
Because that's a conviction to say that we're all learning.
a conviction, it's a declaration
You're
for yourself.
You're saying that I am learning and John is learning, though that is not your call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's where language comes from, and I think that's where these really powerful people learn to do. They never make a call for someone else. You know? They're always stating I statements because they're on control of their own shit,
Right.
and they're expecting everyone else to handle their own too. And so there's a famous quote that says a community of leaders don't need a leader.
Yeah.
So it's about making a community, making a team that doesn't need a leader because they're all leaders. And so it's about that fact that we create an environment, we create a group, we create a collective that can think for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's powerful.
Dope. Yeah.
I'm a leader, bro.
I am a leader as well.
Yeah.
And then you get to say you're a leader if you would like.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm learning.
And everyone gets to state
I'm
that.
learning. Yeah.
I'm learning as well.
Yeah.
And so it feels good.
Now we're all learning now.
We are all learning. See, now you can make that conviction.
Yeah. Are you learning, John?
I'm learning.
See,
bro.
and then you get to ask. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Now I get to be like, hey, John, are you learning too? Like, I feel like I'm learning. Are you all learning too? Like,
Just like I'll have you.
Feels like fucking Blue's Clues, bro.
hey, that shit made lots of cash. I watched that.
That shit was dope. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like it, dude.
And then the dude just left like randomly.
Yeah.
What
See,
up,
imagine
Steve?
how odd that would have been if you were like, yeah, you know we like this. I'd be like,
So yeah, basically the point is like, all right, check it out. We'll stop. We'll go away. Did I already what?
Just never gonna finish his point. It's just to be continued.
it shouldn't be finished if it's not going to be finished properly, I feel.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I get you.
know what,
Yeah,
you hear me?
I like that shit.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
I'm not trying to put
You're
like
all
pressure.
trying to be like, all right, to wrap this podcast up on a terrible note.
on like an invalid note.
Yeah.
So the
So,
people are
like,
watching like, these guys are fucking idiots.
I'm all like, this guy was running through the Antarctic. Then we laugh about some shit, and they're like, all right, cool to wrap this podcast up. I'm like, nah, bro, 10 more minutes.
Oh, God. All right.
Oh shit. All right. Yeah, here's what I'll wrap it up with, all right? So the Antarctic guy, he said I had to look every 2 feet. So I think a good way that like somebody can learn to tie it all back together, what you were talking about at the very beginning and the Antarctic 2 feet guy, right? If you want to learn,
If I want to learn.
all right, if I want to learn a new language or something, right? Say that's like a goal that I have. I want to learn a new language. A good way to do that without overdoing it, overtaxing yourself, or setting up.
Taxing myself.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna restart it. All right. So if I want to learn a new language, a way for me to do that without overtaxing myself or overworking myself or setting up a habit that I don't enjoy, right? That's not easy for me to do on a consistent basis, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a plan. I'm going to set up like a checklist of what are like the 350 or 400 most used words in that language, or the 350 most common words to be able to converse with somebody, right? And I'm just going to put that whole list and just list it out. Or maybe one day on my phone, I'm just going to say, I'm going to just be thinking of words that I want to know. And I'll list it out, like have it like, let's say for a good number, 365 words. That way I can just I can do it for a year, and I'll just do 2 or 3 words every day. And all that it is, I just put in the words and I set up some kind of little, some little thing where I'll put the word in, I'll type it out in that language, or I'll write it out in that language, and I'll look it up on Google Images, and kind of like learn a little bit about that word. And I'll just do that for 2 words every day. That's something that you can do
That I can do.
every day.
That I can do.
That's something that I can do every day. Yeah.
Dope. Yeah.
No, so like that's a practical tip that somebody can take away from this podcast, right?
Yeah, that's dope, dude.
If I was listening to a podcast, that's something that I would take away from that
Me too.
podcast. I would be like, hey, what can I apply that to in other areas of my life? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's how I wanted to wrap it up.
Sweet, dude. Well, that was a good talk, and I learned a lot.
I learned a lot too.
Xavier, did you learn a lot?
I had a great time.
All right.
He didn't learn anything.
I didn't say that.
That was dope, yo.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Hey, do that song. We should. Dude, I like that song that you had playing. Yeah.
What was that? What were you bumping to?
Put your headphones back on. Or can you hear it?
No, you can put it up on the.
But he's recording it onto the track.
Oh, I see.
What is that song?
It's Tom Misch, In the Midst of It All.
Okay.
Is it just recording the song, or is it recording the mics?
Something you gave me, I focus on 100 moments ready sewn into my memory, but you still come loose though. The time it grows, I know you like to take it slow, but I got to know. That's why you got to come here alone. You've never known. Keep for the future. Maybe we will stay here. Maybe somewhere close, but I'm never sure where you will go. So I've got to know. That's why you got to come here alone. Thank